Okay, good practice today. Thought guys' energy was really good. Very physical practice again, continuing with our theme of being a physical team. And you know, as we analyze all the things to improve at and things that are going well, and one of the things that has gone well is how physical that we're playing comparable to where we were a year ago, and making that decision about how we practiced in the spring and fall, and we can definitely see that paying off, especially up front on our defense.
Obviously, you named as starting quarterback. What went into the decision to choose Cody?
Yeah, and you know, I know I mentioned to you guys about explaining later about it, but really just thought more about it. That's not really fair to the kids. We're going to come out here and say, well, this kid, that. There's enough stuff I'm sure out there that they have to deal with. For me to add on to that doesn't make any sense. So we expect Cody to play great Saturday, really take charge of this offense, and get us back on winning track.
Nothing against Max, but what some of the things that Cody does well that you like?
Yeah, well, I think that Cody manages situations that nobody outside of our team would see, and whether that's audibles, whether that's things in the huddle, getting things fixed, getting people aligned. So he's still obviously very inexperienced, and so he'll play great Saturday. Looking
back, do you think the whole non-decision thing or using two quarterbacks from the start was a good idea?
Yeah, I do. We didn't know, we've never seen both of them play in this offense, this year, and to have some, game snaps with them. I'm sure at some point we're going to need Max, and he knows that. Was very valuable for us.
When do you think you might open up the offense?
What I think
Eric,
might open
when
up?
do you think you might? Yeah.
Oh, I don't know that question exactly. Obviously we're not pleased with the outcome of the amount of points, the amount of yards in the game. And, we're working on that. At the same time, we take positives from our performance in the game. That we've got a running back that's run the ball really well. First time since 1981 of that opening games of back-to-back 100-yard games. Our defense is playing phenomenal, which was obviously a big emphasis of our changing in the offseason, of going to this scheme and dedicating the style of practice towards helping what was a big issue for us, which was stopping the run a year ago. So, strange as it may seem, there's a lot of things going really well. Unfortunately, there's one really glaring thing that is sticking out, and that's the passing game. And if that's just normal, we're in a totally different situation right now. I'm not even saying if it's great, if it's just normal, that game is a completely different game.
Do you feel like it's too conservative?
Yeah, I feel like it's too conservative because we lost. And so anytime you lose, you're not going to sit there and say, well, I do the exact same thing. And so, we're not trying to lose. Just because you run the ball doesn't mean you're not trying to score. We were trying to win the game. We felt that our defense was playing great in the game as they were. And, unfortunately, you saw when we went to two different two-minute situations, we turned the ball over, throw interceptions. And, that is obviously what we're in the normal part of the game trying not to do. And for the rest of the game, didn't do that. And unfortunately, we handed them 7 points, and that obviously was a big difference in the game.
How do you think Marquise has played to this point?
Well, I think Marquise is pushing himself a little bit too much, trying a little bit too hard, which is very normal. He's going to have frustration because we're not playing really well on offense. And so that's going to frustrate anybody that's competitive as he is. So, we've gone back to some basics with him, and had a conversation with him Sunday. Expect him to play really consistent and well Saturday.
In terms of a conversation about things you would like to see him not think about, or what did you relate it to?
Well, just going back to just his job, he's so competitive and he wants everybody to do so good and so well that sometimes that gets him off balance a little bit from just doing his job. You got back-to-back games of fumbling the punt, and another punt return that's set up to be a big return. The whole wall's set up over there and he drops the punt. So those are very abnormal things for him to have happen, and that just is just trying to pitch.
How about Boston College, the problems that they those two guys?
Playing extremely well, great running back, very big and physical. The offensive line is extremely well coached, big play receiver, and on defense they're extremely multiple and cause people problems. Going back to where the defensive coordinator was the year before, they played really, really good defense and very aggressive defense.
Do you feel that your defense is ready to play against Andre Williams? You had a great game last week. Do you think that you're ready for a pounding ground game?
Well, we're going to find out because obviously this is different than what we've just faced. The last 2 weeks, the style of play, this is much more like a Stanford type of offense. Heavy run game, a lot of extra big bodies, and then deep play action pass. So this will be a very good test for us.
How many more? Sorry, go ahead.
With Trey carrying the ball as much as he has, 30 plus carries over the weekend, how do you kind of balance thinking about whether you want to keep him in there or get him out for a fresher back? At any point did you consider trying to get him out just how many carries he had, or why did you end up continuing to go with him?
Yeah, we did consider it. That's not really how we like the numbers to be, but he was playing so well, and he was actually getting stronger as the game was going. You look at his fourth quarter runs, he's still running over people. He still looks like he's in the first quarter, and that's very unusual to be able to do. If we would have seen any signs of the other way, we would have switched it, but it was just how the game was going, and you want to make sure when a guy's playing like that, just to take him out just because you're supposed to take him out at a certain number of carries isn't the right thing to do. You got to try to win the game.
Is there an ideal number of backs you'd like to have playing at a given time? I mean, is there a number that's too many, or one, unless Trey's playing that well, is too few? What would that be?
It all depends how the game's going. It all depends on that day. We've been in some systems before where they've kind of been equal with two guys. We've been in the system before our year at Tennessee where it was almost one guy dominating the whole thing, which like what these last two games have been. But I would definitely anticipate seeing Justin Davis more in the near future.
How many more reps did Cody get today, and how much will that help him, do you think?
I think it'll help him a lot. He got a lot more reps than he normally gets because of the two guys switching up. So it's obviously good for him, good for his comfort level, and I think that you noticed a little bit more confidence out of him today, knowing that he was the guy, and kind of a better look at his hand, and a little more decisive with throwing the football, and not quite as much hesitation.